you are going to have opportunities where you didn't realize, opportunities would come from. Like it would have never occurred to you in the old way of thinking and the old way of living life, that opportunities can come from this direction or that direction. Hello, all my beautiful souls, and welcome to Sunrise Tarot. My name is Leah, and today I will be doing a reading for the beautiful sign of Gemini for the month of July 2024. Hi, Gemini. I hope everything is going well for you. I hope the month of June started out really strong because it is your time to shine. Hopefully, you're feeling a surge of energy and effortlessly manifesting many different things into your reality. Do let me know how everything is going for you. As you know, this is a general reading, so there will be parts that may not resonate with you. Only take the parts that do and leave the rest for someone else. I've already meditated on the cards. I've already shuffled the cards, and this is the spread that I have for you today. In the past position, we have the Hermit card, clarified by the Ten of Swords. In the obstacle position, we have the Six of Pentacles, clarified by the Seven of Pentacles. In the present position, we have the Seven of Cups, clarified by the Chariot card. And in the future outcome position, we do have the Three of Pentacles, clarified by the Two of Cups. So let's get right into this spread. In the past position, you have the Hermit card, which is all about taking time to look for the answers on the inside, because how you feel on the inside manifests itself in the exterior situations on the outside. So the reality you find yourself in is directly related to how you feel on the inside. And we do see that you have the Hermit card clarified by the Ten of Swords, which tells me that, you have moved past that Ten of Swords movement. You took that unpleasant sort of feeling and you transmuted it into victory. You have been able to learn and practice transmuting energy because of finding wisdom on the inside of you. You were able to kind of spend some time by yourself where you were able to connect all the different things on the inside. When you connect and integrate your higher self, your shadow, when you truly kind of look on the inside and spend some time with the inner world, your uniquely specific world, and your emotions and your thoughts and everything that goes into it, you are able to take that and kind of learn from it. You are able to learn and take an unpleasant Ten of Swords situation. You are able to transmute it and turn it into victory. You have truly unboxed some of the gifts that you were born with, because you were born with special, unique gifts. But as you go through life, those gifts oftentimes, people try to suppress, because our society likes to program people and likes to make everyone sort of similar rather than celebrating their uniqueness. And so the Hermit is a very pivotal moment. It's a huge realization that you've experienced that allowed you to become much stronger and much more wise on the inside. And as a result, your exterior is changing. The reality in which you see, all around you is changing because you've experienced an internal victory. Now, in the obstacle position, we do have someone taking advantage of you a little bit. We do have the Six of Pentacles in the obstacle position, which definitely tells me that someone may be taking advantage of your generosity or of your resources or of your helping them, like your effort and energy is being used by someone around you that isn't really, that forthcoming. They're keeping sort of doing something deceptive when they are around you. And so that creates a certain amount of imbalance. So be aware of that in the month of July, because once you have finished with your birthday season, you're going to be going into that vision planning kind of mode where you'll be looking ahead and trying to, assess everything that has happened up to this point so that you can have a clear path forward, so you can have at least a clear direction of the path forward, knowing, what you want to accomplish in the coming year. And so with the Seven of Pentacles in the clarifying position, definitely tells me that you may be under a little bit of stress. You may be kind of acting like everything is okay, but there is definitely a worry about making sure that you have enough resources and you have security and you have abundance coming in. Again, this all relates to long-term vision. So as you're assessing, how you've been doing up to this point, moving forward, it's important to remember that things are changing, and so your vision has to account for that. Make sure that you set aside a certain amount of energy and effort, time and resources for the changing road ahead. We are in an unprecedented time where the world is changing extremely fast. Our values are changing. Our thought patterns are changing. The way we have lived up to this point has been dictated by our ancestors, our grandparents, and so forth. And their life was pretty predictable. But now the model of our life has changed. And so now things are becoming, a little bit unpredictable. You are going to have opportunities where you didn't realize, opportunities would come from. Like it would have never occurred to you in the old way of thinking and the old way of living life, that opportunities can come from this direction or that direction. And so it's important to really look at your vision and think about your vision and make sure that you are in a good place moving forward. Specifically when it comes to your internal strength, because your internal strength is your biggest asset, not the amount of your bank account, not like whether you own a big home or a small home or any of that, because now people who didn't have so much are actually coming into their strength where they will be able to create a lot more, and so you do have a lot of choices in the month of July. And so it's important to remember the Seven of Cups is actually a card that's somewhat positive, but it's also somewhat negative, because the negative portion of this card comes from the fantasy element of this card. When you have a lot of choices, you can sometimes lose yourself in kind of fantasizing about, well, I could do this or I could do that. And it's important to really stay grounded. Make sure you surround yourself with people that ground you quickly. The moment you look at them, they bring you back down to earth. It's important to stay grounded when you're looking at different choices in your life, because there's only one choice that is correct for you. That's not an illusion. That's not a fantasy. It's a choice that will, be the right one for you, because it brings you the most experience, the most knowledge, the most understanding, and also elevates you as well. You already know what your weaknesses weaknesses and strengths are. So, keep that in mind when you are making that choice, because the divine is giving you the Chariot in the clarifying position, which is a vehicle. It's a vehicle that's going to allow you to move. Once that choice is made, you can make it happen very quickly with the help of the Chariot in the clarifying position. So you are in a very strong situation that is playing to your strengths, that is playing to your advantages. And so you're able to, make that choice and move very quickly in terms of progress. You can progress, very far with the Chariot. And so this is really good news for you as long as you stay grounded. Now, in the future outcome position, you have the Three of Pentacles, clarified by the Two of Cups. The Three of Pentacles is a work of team work. It's a card of teamwork and collaboration, but most importantly, it's a card of building. And what you're building is a connection. What you're building is a very strong bond through this collaboration. This incredibly strong bond is going to kind of give air beneath your wings, and it's going to be able to propel you forward. You're building something beautiful. Maybe you are building a relationship, brick by brick. Maybe you're building a partnership, brick by brick. It's based on solid ground. It's not a tower that you're building. It's not based on illusion, because you are a grounded being. You understand the advantages of Earth. You also understand the advantages of the cosmic realm as well. And so definitely the biggest caveat of this reading is making the right choice, which can be harder than it seems. A lot of times people jump into choices very quickly. You are at a point where you have mastered your emotions. You have mastered transmuting energy into something more beautiful. So it is, the time now to master choices and quickly realize which is fantasy, which is going to, take you down a lovely road, but ultimately not going to bring you the fulfillment that you so desire and deserve. So it's important to really narrow down how you make choices and what motivates you to make choices, and you're building something very, very beautiful. So you have to be aware. You've leveled up and you have an incredible level of mastery up to this point. So now you're just kind of fine tuning it, making sure that others do not take advantage of your energy, your effort, your time. And so this is what the divine here is sort of pointing out to you. It's good to be kind, but it's also important to remember that sometimes kindness is used against you. So you have to, tap into that wisdom on the inside that the Hermit helped you learn, and you have to kind of use that wisdom as you're making choices. Now, let's see what the Shaman's Dream Oracle card has for us. I pulled it earlier. And we have Heart Home. And it's a very poignant card because this card reminds you to remember that your home is your heart, not your mind where logic resides. It's not your thoughts. In fact, the less you think, the more you kind of are able to manifest, because you fall in line with the divine. The divine is a very powerful tool, very powerful realm. And the best way to connect to it is through your heart. When you're talking to someone that you really appreciate and you really like, imagine, as you're talking to them, yes, yes, no, no, da, 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 imagine in the middle of that conversation, a cord coming out of your heart and plugging into their heart. That will allow this beautiful energy to kind of go back and forth between you two. And they will be be able to experience your true heart kind of vibration. But the heart home is all about returning to your heart. It doesn't mean that logic is useless, or that your thoughts are useless, or that you shouldn't think thoughts and ignore them completely, because your heart, because your thoughts, which is your mind, is kind of ego based, meaning that it's given to you to survive. Even in this three-dimensional realm, there are dangers, and so you have to think in order to avoid the different dangers. Your mind is there to keep you alive. That is the function of your brain, to be aware of potential dangers and so on and so forth. It's your mind that says, don't go down the dark alley and whatever. But you know what I'm trying to say. You're supposed to be living in your heart. Heart vibration is like, if you're able to have a very high heart vibration, then you get this realm and you're moving into the five-dimensional experience. So heart is very, very important. And remember, if you take the word heart and you arrange the letters, it's earth. It's the word earth. Earth and heart is one and the same. We're all supposed to be living from the emotion of heart. But some souls that are on planet Earth in human form, they tend to push the limits. The souls that push the limits of planet Earth are generally young souls. They don't understand that ultimately, we're just here to be, not to necessarily do. You still have to go to work and pay your bills because you live in this society that is structured that way. But we're slowly, gradually changing away from that to our heart energy, where all of us are kind, all of us are open, all of us are giving and receiving, all of us kind of live in the vibration of the heart. And you can do more research to understand, that better. But younger souls who incarnate on planet Earth, they don't understand, how this realm works, and so they push the limits. Usually, they are either very wealthy or very poor, because they're pushing the limits. Medium-age souls are generally activists. They want to change the world. They want to make the better, and so on. They're usually like politicians or whatever. Younger souls are people like Tom Cruise or George Soros and so on and so forth. Medium-aged souls are like politicians or activists, people that want to create change, and they are actively trying to, gather people and get that going. The old souls are kind of the ones chilling. They sit back and they sort of understand, we're here to experience, we're here to be. You don't have to necessarily push the limits all the time. You don't need to be super wealthy. You don't need to be super not wealthy. It's about in making the decisions every day, structuring your life around meditation and letting go and forgiveness and, being grateful and all of those wonderful things. I also pulled an angel and ancestor oracle card, and we've got trader, exchange energy to create abundance. Remember, with the universe, what you put in is what you get out, meaning the amount of energy you spend is what you receive back. So, make sure that when you are exchanging energy, it is, for the higher purpose, for the higher self, and you're doing good within you, but also on the outside of you as well. I also pulled an angel oracle card, and we've got within the next few months. I really like that we see steps on this card, because you are ascending. As you evolve, you get closer and closer to being an ascended master. You get closer and closer to really living in love all the time. Love is not sex. That is not love. Love is a higher vibrational existence where you see everyone around you as a version of you. The person you're talking to is a version of you who's trying to teach you something. The same way that person looks at you as you being a version of them, and you're teaching them something. So when you live in the vibration of your heart, and again, you start living in a vibration of your heart, and it becomes clearer as you go further and further into that evolution. When you get to the initial living in vibration of the heart, maybe 30 minutes a day or an hour a day or 2 hours a day, it is a conscious choice. It becomes easier because you get new windows opening up, new doors opening up, metaphorical and physical. You start to see more and experience more, and the universe is like, okay, I can rely on this person to get many things accomplished. And so then you start working with the universe, and it becomes easier and easier, and then it becomes more complex because the vibration becomes more complex. So you have to remember, once you get on the path, you don't have to worry about the actual path. It materializes right in front of you. So a lot of times people are like, I don't see a path, how am I supposed to go down the path I don't see? It's important to remember that once you get onto that path, the path shows up in front of you. You don't need to see the path because your heart sees it. Your eyes do not see it. Your mind does not see it, but your heart is able to see it. So it's, again, do you trust your heart? How much do you trust your heart? And it's not about, trusting your heart. Yeah, it is about taking a job that doesn't pay well but satisfies you more. It is about being together with someone that society may not approve of, but your heart does. It becomes easier once you start trusting your heart, is all I'm trying to say. I hope you enjoyed this reading, dear Gemini. If you did, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for visiting me today. Don't forget to visit me on Instagram, and I'll see you next time.